What is up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of DMac Pods. Today, I am joined by the co-founder of my business, Myles Murphy, and the business called Zof Say Hi. And we're just going to talk a little about him today. So, welcome on the show, Myles.
It's great to be here.
Yeah,
Very excited.
Very excited. I know. I could see the grin. I could see the grin. So let's get started. So, Myles is actually from Connecticut, and he goes to Texas A&M University. So go ahead and tell me, how did that come to be?
It kind of came about mostly I was looking to come south, looking for like a more conservative place to be, looking for a more like Christian place to be as well. And A&M, has that like conservative culture, and also the big football culture is really fun too. You don't really get that up north, I'd say.
Yeah, well, not a great day to be an Aggies football fan.
Well, yeah.
After last night. Dude, did you watch the whole game?
I watched the second half.
Did you watch like overtime?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, dude.
It was rough.
It was in his hands.
Yeah, that last catch. He had it.
He did. Dude, he's like hurting.
No, you saw him lying there on the ground.
Yeah.
After it was like, man.
And then all the Auburn fans rushed the field. Oh, dude, that hurt. Like me and my friends were like, okay, it's time to go to bed. We're all so upset. But did you hear we still got a path to the playoffs?
Yeah, I guess so. Right. If we win the TU game.
We have to win the TU game, and the winner of that game goes to, I believe, Athens or Atlanta. I think it's Atlanta, actually. Atlanta for the SEC championship.
Okay, yeah.
It's in Athens or Atlanta. I can't remember. But if we beat Texas and win the SEC championship, I think it's hard not to put us in. Even though we'd be a 10-3 team, that would be like back-to-back top like 5 wins, like top 5 ranked team wins.
Yeah. Within the SEC, we have 2 losses right now? Is that right?
Yeah, we have 2 losses. South Carolina, Auburn.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm surprised Tennessee's not in the SEC championship like picture. Because it's the winner between us and Texas that goes, even though they only have 2 losses as well.
I don't really know why. I'm not too up.
I wonder if there's like a weird tiebreaker thing. I've no idea, but that makes things better, because I thought if we lost the Auburn game, I thought like the value of the Texas game goes down. But the fact that it has been announced that the winner is going to go to the SEC championship, I think brings it back up to the level of intensity that it's at. So we gotta win. We
do have to win.
So I'll go on the field and we'll win.
Yeah, we'll get on there.
Yeah. I'll play at starting running back. And
I can see that.
Yeah. I'll be running back because Le'Veon Moss is out and Reuben Owens and Daniels might be down in the dump, so gotta come pick it up. Anyways, I don't want to talk much about A&M football because we lost, but brings back bad memories. Okay, so you came to A&M, and so what kind of degree were you looking for when you first came to A&M?
So I was originally not planning on doing like comp sci. I definitely wanted to do something like STEM oriented, so I was drawn to engineering. I was thinking like mechanical engineering, something like that. And I never like touched coding before, knew nothing about it coming into college. And then I took this class. It was called Engineering 102, and it was like a intro like programming course, and I just absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed coding, like the logic that goes into it and like the problem solving aspect. And I was like, I'm going comp sci, gonna go for that route, and it's been great so far.
Yeah, I remember taking 102, and everyone like dreaded it.
Oh yeah, all the engineers, they were like scared. They were scared of it.
Even though like looking back, that it was so easy.
Oh yeah, I've looked back at the code and I'm like, what is this? Like, what was I doing?
Yeah, well, not only that, but I feel like the projects were just super easy. Like, I had to tutor a student in Engineering 102, and like they were, I don't know. I'm not throwing any shade or anything, but because most people aren't going to program in their degrees or whatnot, right? But like they were having trouble with functions. like
Right.
making functions. And although like if you have no background in computer science, that's definitely difficult, but like with how much we've learned, I feel like looking back, that's like child's play, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, like people are struggling with like a loop and understanding how that works, or like an
Yeah.
if statement and like the logic behind that. But like, that's such basic surface level computer science stuff.
We just got a Giga Chad programmer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is though, nowadays just programming in general is like, I think it's becoming part of so many different jobs,
Yeah.
Like
Oh, for sure.
like stats and programming now just go hand in hand. Same with like a lot of math stuff too. So many people that normally wouldn't have to even program, they have to now.
Well, I mean, it's all about automation, and especially like everything you can do with data science.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's really important. I mean, I still don't understand. I know of mechanical engineers that do have to code, but I don't understand like what. I also don't even really know what mechanical engineering does. So
It's pretty broad. I mean, they can do like design stuff, but it also could be like process engineering, like optimizing systems.
yeah,
And so that'll maybe involve a little more programming. Like sometimes they'll even just like program like custom Excel functions, and then they can just like, drag and drop. Not like the kind of programming we do. It's a little different, right? But
yeah. So I wanna kind of save Zophis AI for a little later. So came in here, wanted to do some kind of engineering, probably mechanical. Got into comp sci. How has comp sci been so far?
oh, I've loved it, honestly. Like I compare to all my roommates are also engineers, and like I compare to them, and I feel like we just get so many like projects to do, like hands-on kind of, like we get to code something and like make something from scratch, and it's not as like super theoretical, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and so that's been really nice to do, and yeah.
Would you say compared to your roommates and friends, is comp sci, are we like, are our classes easier than theirs or harder?
I think it's easier.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a lot easier.
I think it's easier.
I think so. So at A&M, like getting into comp sci is really hard, but like once you're in, it's kind of a cakewalk. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like every comp sci major is in honors, and they have like above a 3.7 GPA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. I feel like once you're in, it's hard like not to just keep that up.
I think so too. Also, because you're even to just get in, you're already like at that high GPA,
Yeah.
So then you're just already like in honors. You're already got everything set up, and it just sets you up for success for the rest of your college career.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like
You think? Do you think the comp sci program has GPA inflation?
I'd say probably a little bit, just
Probably a little
a
bit.
little bit. I think.
Yeah, I'd say so. Well, I mean, I feel like it kind of just comes from like the requirements to get in,
Yeah,
and then once you have that base, it's like you put more pressure on yourself not to let it drop.
yeah, because they force basically every comp sci student to have like good grades, and you're like once you're already at that point, you're like, I don't want to lose that 4.0. I don't want to lose that 3.9 or whatever it is.
Yeah. So me and Myles, we actually we met each other freshman year, and so first semester both of us got 4.0s, and then that second semester, finals week, we were stressing because at A&M after your first year, you ETAM into your major if you're in engineering, and so computer science. It was like, what was the statistic? It was like out of 400 people that got accepted to computer science, I think it was like 17 had below a 3.75.
And actually got in.
Yeah,
Still.
and actually got in. So the thing was, it's like unless you have some crazy projects, you need above a 3.75. And when you don't have many courses on your like GPA, each grade weighs so much.
Oh yeah, it'll
right?
drop you like what, like 0.3 or something, like
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
It's like a lot.
something crazy. So yeah, that was freshman year was probably one of the most stressful years of my life. But
Yeah, I
it's
think.
been,
Yeah, we spent so much time on school that like on our classes that year, that whole
Yeah.
year. It was just like, especially like physics and chem and stuff.
yeah,
Just like
it's-
making sure we get that A.
But smooth sailing now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I feel like I don't even go to school no more.
Well, now we got those online. We are taking a software engineering course, and we're working on our last project, and it's fully online now. No more
Yeah.
lectures. So I go to school like twice a week.
Yeah. No, same here.
Yeah.
Dude, the funny thing is, the other day, I completely forgot that stats existed. Like I was
Oh.
meaning to go to it, and it was like a Wednesday. I was like, oh, I don't have school today, and then like at like 4 p.m. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot stats, and they take attendance there, so it was pretty brutal. I think I might be over that five absent.
Maybe by a few.
I hopefully she gives some grace. I honestly don't think she checks. But anyways, okay. So a little about comp sci. So outside of comp sci, what do you do? So if the world was to take away all technology today,
Mm-hmm.
what would you be doing?
I would try to probably be like a performer or musician type thing. If I've been playing the piano since I was 5 years old or something, like when I was really young, and it's just for me, it's like my favorite thing to do outside of just for fun. It's such a fun activity to practice and learn how to play certain pieces that I want to learn, and it's just a joy to do.
So what's the best piece you could play?
The best piece I can play. I don't. Probably most of the listeners don't know much about classical music 'cause that's what I normally do. But Chopin's Ballade Number 1. That's probably the hardest piece I've ever played.
Chopin's Ballade Number 1.
Maybe you can insert a little clip.
Maybe
in the editing. Yeah.
maybe a little editing if I don't feel too lazy. Most of the time I don't even like look at it. I just upload it. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I'll probably throw some things in here. But piano. So piano.
Yep.
And then I believe you did swimming, right?
Yeah, I did swimming in high school. I was a competitive swimmer, and I still swim a little bit now for exercise and things like that. But that was a really fun experience because swimming is normally considered like a individual sport, right? It's not really like a team. But in high school, my coach really made it feel like a team sport, and that kind of like bonding that you have between like the guys in your team was just really nice to have, and it's like you kind of build up like a brotherly bond between your teammates, and always going through like hard practices together.
Yeah.
And competing together.
So what were like the practices and preparations like for that
So
as a swimmer?
we would practice 6 days a week, like 2.5 hours each day.
That's a lot.
Start with like what we call dry land, which is like where you do like basically calisthenics on the pool deck and also some like warm-ups to stretch your shoulders, make sure you don't get like rotator cuff injuries, things like that. Then we would actually get in the pool and start with like a warm-up, and our warm-up would be maybe between like 500 to 1,000 yards maybe. And then from there move into like a couple, like we'd call them sets, like main sets. And each day we would focus on like a different thing. It could be like focusing on like a distance, like swimming longer distances, or focusing more on like a sprint type thing, or a particular like stroke, like freestyle versus like backstroke or something like that, And once we do our main sets, usually like 2, we'd also do some like technique work to just make sure we get that locked in, and then do just a warm down at the end. In total, we'd probably do like 6,000 yards a day or so.
That's crazy. I remember a couple summers ago, me and a buddy, his girlfriend was on the swim team. So me and him are like, yo, we should like, I mean, it was summer. We were like going to the gym, and after we're like, let's swim. I remember trying to do, I think it was like, what is it? Is it down and back? Is that 50 meters?
That's a 50, yeah.
50. I remember I tried to do, what's a mile, 1,600?
Yeah, about 1,650.
About 1,650. I think I tried to do a mile. And number 1, it took forever. Number 2, I was so gassed.
Yeah.
And swimming's such a weird thing because, like, I'll be over here trying my hardest, like doing this. And then there's a grandpa, like, going so slow. And they're outpacing me. They're taking less breaks than me.
Yep.
And I have no idea why.
It's big technique.
Yeah, I might be trying a little too hard.
Yeah, it's really about, I think, technique, like how much water you can grab per like stroke each time you like pull, right? Like basically how far you can push yourself each time you take a stroke. That like really will reduce the amount of energy you have to use. Also, like how much you turn your head when you breathe, things like that.
Yeah.
Really, like, because you're doing it so many times over the course of like a race or whatever event you're doing. Like it just really like adds up, and then you start to get really tired if you don't have good technique.
Yeah. So have you ever considered what is it, a triathlon? Is that it? Where they have swim, like
I've
bike and run?
I've definitely considered it. The part for me that would suck and be really tough is the running portion.
The running?
I despise running.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think I could do the bike portion, and swimming portion would be fine. I'd have to actually really train for the running portion. I'm not used to that.
Yeah, I hate running too.
Mm-hmm.
Conditioning is just horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So now let's talk a little about Zophis AI.
Sure.
So I'll kind of go into the background of how it started and stuff. And fun fact, today is actually the 1 year anniversary of Zophis AI.
That's right.
So y'all say happy birthday to Zophis AI in the chat. And yeah, so you want to just start off by saying anything about it, or?
Sure. Sophis AI is just an AI application. It's currently a website we have online. It's got a bunch of different features. Some for like building like businesses, as well as some like video editing content for content creators as well. We're currently working on the content creation portion and kind of working on marketing that right now and finishing it up and putting it out there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give y'all a little history lesson here about Zophis AI. So I brought Myles on as a co-founder a couple of months ago, but like I said, we started a year ago, last November, and I in the past had a couple of businesses. One big one being a clothing brand. But when I started my clothing brand, I didn't really know how to plan for it. So I wanted to create like an AI application that just kind of gives you an outline for like a business, kind of like a business planner or something. Then started adding social media integration into it. So like got connected with TikTok and YouTube, and started pulling their analytics. And so we then kind of shifted towards data analytics for businesses. But then with how much we're doing on integrating social media, we kind of shifted towards influencers because we saw that a lot of it was literally just getting stats and making decision based off all those stats for social media users, right? So that could be not only applied to businesses, but also influencers. And then it was kind of like slow in terms of updating and stuff during the summer. But once we got back to school here, started working on it again, and then started the podcast. And one thing I found that was annoying was editing podcasts into short form to post that on like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you want to post. So me and Myles got together and we're like, hey, here's a problem. Let's build a solution for it.
Yep.
And so we started off with Subway Surfers.
Yep. Subway Surfers clips.
Yeah, Subway
TikTok.
Surfers clips. So you can, the way we do it is you just paste in a YouTube link. Our machine does its magic, finds a couple of clip segments. It'll put captions on it and Subway Surfers.
That's right.
That's where we started, and then we've just branched out from there. Our latest feature, which is still in testing, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's really impressive. The demo was really awesome.
Yeah.
The demo was really, really awesome, and so we've just been grinding away at that. And so I'm just gonna ask Myles a couple of questions here about his whole experience with this. So Myles, what has been, I guess, some of the most pleasant surprises that you faced working on this project?
On Zophis?
Yeah, on Zophis.
Pleasant surprises. I've really enjoyed, I think, getting to like work with I guess, different technologies and kind of exploring a different like region of software engineering. Like I never would have thought of this idea, to be honest, without your input, I guess.
Yeah.
And getting to like work on an actual product in a business and kind of take some of the skills I learned in school and like in the workplace from internships and stuff and apply it here to something that like is actually our own and is actually being, used by ourselves and is us basically.
And
not-
hopefully others. Hopefully others.
yeah, and
Yeah.
well, but and also not working for someone else. you know?
Yeah.
Like not
yeah.
being the employee of someone else and being
the,
in
the
charge in
so
a
the-
way.
So the ownership part has been like a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, taking full ownership of your work rather than someone else taking credit for it. In a
Yeah.
way.
I think I also one thing I really enjoy is like when you're kind of your own boss, right? Like you can make the projects fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one feature, the Biden Trump Obama
Mhm.
one. I think that one will be really fun to watch or build
Yeah, that's a later feature we have
later feature.
planned.
We're
on the
gonna be
roadmap.
we're gonna be a very fun company, so we're gonna have a lot of fun features.
Yep.
And this feature, it's gonna be pretty useful. I think y'all like it, but it'll be very fun to build too, and just watch it come to life.
Yeah.
I think so. I think Subway Surfers was pretty fun.
Oh yeah. No, just seeing that like come together, being able to create these clips in like 5 minutes, just press a button, just
Yeah.
does the whole thing for you. The automation part of it is so powerful.
Oh, it's so powerful, and
because we can just take a whole podcast that is 3 hours long, whatever, and just make these clips automatically. Don't have to search through it and find the most interesting parts. It automatically does it.
exactly
Edits everything together. It's just such a powerful automation tool for
Yeah.
podcasters, content creators, anyone.
Well, anyway, not even content creators, it's just people that guess clip farmers
Yeah.
too, because a lot of people on TikTok repost content that there's not theirs.
Right.
But yeah, I'll say for me, it's been, especially with the podcast, it's been great. Just you put it in, click the button, have it do its magic, go grab a cup of coffee, come back, and then you have your posts for the day, if not the week.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can get up to what?
I think it's 12.
I think
Every-
12 right now.
Yep.
I think we could probably support up to 20,
Yeah.
but
As we scale more too.
yeah, as we scale more.
Yep.
But so outside of the coding part, has there been like this? So this is like the first like business thing you're like really working for, where you kind of have oversight over everything, not just like a small portion.
Yeah.
Because often, not only in internships, but when you're a software developer, you kind of have your own little alley that you're working in, and not on the broader kind of scale, I'd say. But as being someone who sees everything from top to bottom,
Mm-hmm.
what are some things that I guess you didn't know or wouldn't have expected to work with that we've had to work with?
I think a few things would be like system optimization for sure. Like because we're working with like this whole product and having to like understand how everything like comes together, all the different parts that normally like maybe one person would work on one part and another person would work on another, and like putting it together and then seeing how we can optimize it and just like make everything run faster.
Yeah.
Has been really good to see. Another thing is like working with like servers and things like that's been a little different too. I'd say.
Yeah, EC2.
Yeah, the
Amazon.
EC2 instance. Oh, AWS. That's
Yeah.
been a challenge for us a little bit.
Just a little.
Little.
I think I figured out the issue why it kept crashing today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So one thing I think me and Myles can both attest to is as soon as we fix one problem, another pops up.
Oh, for sure.
But overall, I think it was just something with the memory.
Okay.
Y'all have no idea what we're talking about right now, which is it's amazing. Like me and you could just go on and talk about all this comp sci stuff, and no one would have any idea.
Oh, yeah.
And then we would have the internal context of like just knowing the business, and they wouldn't even have an idea even if they were in comp sci. It's great.
That is very true.
Uh,
Because we have both the technical and the like business side going
Yeah.
because we're the developers and the business
exactly.
owners as well.
Yeah. So a lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts. But yeah, it's Amazon. It's been hard to work with, but
Yeah, it was surprised how unuser friendly AWS was. That was a big. We've talked about this before, but it was a big surprise to me.
yeah, AWS isn't too user friendly. But I'm not gonna say anymore because they do pay us.
But
They did give us money, so shout out Amazon. Shout out Microsoft.
shout out Amazon, Microsoft,
Shout out Microsoft.
Azure. Yep,
Yeah, Azure.
big help.
Google, where are y'all at? Google, will be inquiring with y'all soon.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like Amazon's winning right now though, just because of
They've got so many features, even though
Yeah.
it's not user friendly. But like the services they offer and like the what you can do with them is just insane. There's so
Yeah.
much you can do with it.
the it's kind of funny because so Amazon, like AWS stands for Amazon Web Services, and so like they offer their web services, but people will go to a third party who literally just puts like a layer on Amazon Web Services and makes it more user friendly.
Yeah,
There's
that's-
like $1 billion industry around creating like a wrapper around Amazon Web Services.
making the UI better, easier to use, more
Which is
user-friendly.
insane.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like 90% of like the data or cloud like startups you see are literally just an Amazon wrapper, which is insane. I find that very funny. But there's a reason for that $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised Amazon has never like thought, hey, we're losing a lot of money here. How about we capitalize? Or do you think it just cost them too much to overhaul everything?
I don't know. I feel like they're probably not losing that much money because still so many companies and businesses are using AWS for this just because of like what you can do with it, even if it's not the most user friendly. I'm not sure if there's
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess if these rappers are still using AWS, they're not losing too much.
yeah, I don't think it's going to be like there's probably not enough of a financial incentive to like hire all these developers and like remake it, you know. They're like we're doing well enough probably. So
Yeah. So this summer you had an internship.
Mhm.
Tell me a little about how that went and stuff.
Sure. So I entered with this company called Hexagon ALI, and I was working on this product called PAS Integrity, and it's a software for industrial control systems and like oil and gas processing plants. And I was working on like the data collection part of this software that is basically like for like PDF processing, and it was just a great experience to learn a little bit about like how software development works in like outside of school, you know, from like just normal school projects. And I'm actually still working for them right now until the end of this month.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I want to pivot into something. I guess it'd be kind of I don't know what kind of word to put it. More like philosophical, psychological.
Sure.
But seeing we're an AI company,
Mm-hmm.
what does the future of humanity and AI look like with ChatGPT and all these other models and all these other applications? Where do you see humanity in 10 years, seeing how AI has grown in the past 2?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, it's crazy thinking back like 2 years ago to when we didn't have something like ChatGPT, just how powerful of a tool it's become, and like even just in the past year, how much more powerful it's become. So it's hard to like fathom what's going to happen in 10 years. But I imagine there's going to be a big reliance on AI. I mean, there already is,
Yeah.
but it's just going to grow more and more, and it's just going to become this like codependent tool, I think, for just about every industry. In the same way that like maybe the computer was when that first came out, and the smartphone too, for for people. It's just gonna become this tool, I think, that is gonna be used all the time. And if we're talking about, a lot of people are concerned about like AI taking their jobs. I'm sure it'll replace some jobs too, but I think overall it'll be like a tool that people are gonna be using.
Yeah, I think me personally, I think AI will replace jobs, but I think it'll also create jobs. I also think we're in a point right now where it's really early in the AI.
Yeah,
Like, I kind of think of it kind of like the .com era,
I
you
think
know?
so.
And so those who came in early did really well. Those who came in late
Yeah,
didn't do too well. And I think a lot of people don't realize because it's so new, but you could build so much stuff with it. Like it could free you right now, but once it's late, it's late. It's kind of like think of what's some popular drop shipping, right?
oh right.
Like the early people that came into drop shipping are the big winners,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone else are the ones who lost.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
So I think it's important. This is just my suggestion. This isn't legal financial advice. No, but my suggestion is y'all learn how to use it and y'all just start building with it. Because in the future when everyone's building with it, it's gonna be too late.
Yeah,
And I don't see us really turning back to like a non GPT world really. I mean there's no
there's no
reason.
way.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. But I think a lot of people just don't realize what all it can do right now. Like for them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like someone who's not in computer science, I mean, there's definitely parts where it's not perfect,
Oh, for sure.
but someone who's not in computer science can definitely make like an app
Yeah.
using it. I think 100%. Right? Especially that O1 model.
Mm-hmm.
That O1 model, not perfect,
Yeah.
but it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely been for us like a accelerator, I think, in our development. I think we would not have as many features completed and ready like to be put out if it wasn't for the help of AI to like fix
Yeah.
our problems. The one thing I think with like software development it still struggles with is like when you're looking at like a big picture.
Yeah.
If you're looking at like a small portion of a software, it works really well. But when you try to look at like the full system design of a software or something, that's where it kind of starts to fail, and it doesn't understand the full context behind everything.
Yeah. I've come to learn ChatGPT can't code everything.
No, definitely not.
Not I don't use it. I use it on personal projects, not school. Just want to put that out there. But yeah, I've come to learn that like bigger picture things, like you have to actually understand it. Like
Yeah,
if you don't understand the code,
it won't work.
it won't work. So going in there and like manually rewiring the wires, I guess, so to
Mhm.
speak, when it doesn't do its job, I think is really important.
Yeah, you need to be able to understand what it outputs, and then it usually won't be 100% right, and so then you need to take that, like that starter in a way, that starter code or whatever, and like fix it to do exactly what you want it to do a
Yeah.
lot of the time.
And I still don't think you really need to know how to code to do that.
Mm.
I think a lot of it's like logical. I mean, I think you need to know about computers,
Yeah,
but
you
I
need to
don't.
have some
I,
understanding.
yeah, like low level stuff. But I don't think you necessarily need to know like code and syntax and stuff. Because if you prompt it the right way, it'll do what you want, right?
Yeah.
But you'd have to just break it down a lot smaller.
Yeah,
Like
syntax it'll help you with a lot.
yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
exactly. Especially with like libraries and stuff. So another thing with AI, how do you think it affects education?
Education, I think it devalues education on the whole because so many students use it, and I think like before, like a student would have to like look in a textbook and like spend hours and hours studying it or something, and now with AI they don't have to understand it as well to do it, but it makes it easier to learn things too, I think, at times. But
So so do you think AI is going to make people smarter or dumber?
it's hard to say. Like you could think back to like even like the .com with Google and things like this, like now information is even more readily accessible. Um, I think a lot of people will, in a way, become like dumber with AI because they'll over rely on it. But I think there will be definitely people that will become smarter and more intellectual with it because they'll use it in the right way, which is like to get the information that they need, but not just to give like themselves all the answers or to have AI give them all the answers.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like I've kind of been conflicted, like thinking about it. Like sometimes I'm like, oh man, will humanity just get dumber? Like, will it get to the point where we just believe everything like AI says, right? And when I've been lazy, I know I've caught myself being like over reliant, and then I'm like, okay, I actually have to do something now.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah,
I felt that way.
But the thing is, like, I think it could make people dumber, but then like I said, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And this is kind of the metaphor that's in my head currently, for AI. Is think like when people used to build homes, right? They used to build them using hammers and nails. Right now you have a power drill.
Right.
And so the power drill technically, like if someone's purpose was like to build homes, right? I bet you they would have a lot more muscle using the hammer and nails than the power drill, right? But the power drill gets the job done quicker. And although you can say, yeah, the power drill made the humans weaker, so to speak, in this example, that's not necessarily a bad thing if the job is getting done quicker.
That's true. The only thing I would say about that is with AI, like if they over rely on it, then no one will understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
So like there has to be a balance between like using it to like increase productivity and to get knowledge, but also having like a baseline understanding so that if it like breaks or if it tells you the like incorrect information, you can like understand what to do from there.
Yeah, you still need to know how to build a house.
Yeah, you still need to have that knowledge. So,
but yeah, I don't know. That's just something that's been like stuck in my mind. Do you believe AI? Do you believe that once it's smart enough, we just make it our unanimous world president and then live under the one monolith?
No.
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 How far do you think we are from AI being like emotionally intelligent, so to speak, or like AGI, so they say?
Oh, I think we're still pretty far, honestly. Because the thing is, I don't know, the way I always see it is like AI is man-made and it's always going to be like imperfect.
Yeah.
And so it's always going to have like problems and I don't know exactly, but like I don't know. I feel like it doesn't actually understand what it's saying every time it outputs stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just it's a statistical model. It's
Yeah.
like giving out information and it has no idea what it's actually saying. So the emotional part I think is pretty tough, but I'm not an expert in like the research part of AI.
Yeah, I personally honestly don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I don't think it's
not
possible.
with the current things. Well, I feel like it's really hard to, I don't know, cuz a lot of these new models that are like super good, like even the creators don't understand how they work.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the AI we know like on the forefront right now are like black boxes. Like the creators are like, we have no idea why it works or how it works, but it works, right? Which is kind of like, okay, look, I wouldn't say like scary, but it's like, it kind of keeps you on your toes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for the potential, because it like it feels like we're stumbling onto something. Not saying it's good or bad, but like it's not like this is planned. Like if it happens, I feel like it's just gonna happen accidentally. Like us not knowing what's actually going on and it just happens,
Yeah, and the over reliance on AI could contribute more to that maybe.
Could be. I honestly don't really think it's possible though, because like I feel like AI, like computers in general, were modeled after the brain, like the recreation of the brain, and AI is just a further extension of that, right?
Right, with neural networks. Things
But
like that.
I don't I like to a human. I feel like there's a lot more than a brain. I feel like there's the soul, right? Because every other animal on Earth has a brain,
Right.
right? But I mean, I'm not saying other animals don't have souls, but like
I view it as like a
yeah,
consciousness
yeah,
type
like a
thing.
consciousness type
Yeah.
thing. And I guess like with AI, I feel like us as humans don't understand consciousness enough to the point where we could implement it into something like that.
Yeah. We don't
No,
understand it at all.
yeah,
No.
we don't even understand dreams,
No, not at all.
you know. And dreams, dude, dreams are an interesting thing. I know people never dream. I dream I remember almost all my dreams.
Really?
Yeah,
I do not. I remember like one a month maybe.
really.
Yeah, not much at all.
I mean, I'll forget like 6 7 hours later, but I I feel like I have a dream every night.
That's nice. Do you write them down sometimes or
No,
no? That'd be interesting to like keep track of like what you're dreaming about. Maybe it could underline some like subconscious thing that maybe you're thinking about. I wonder.
maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like if like when I wake up and I remember the dream, I kind of like think of why would I dream that,
Yeah.
and then there's a lot of cool theories on dreams.
Mm.
Like one's like, oh, it's just kind of like a recap. Like it'll just be like things you heard or saw that day, which I could see sometimes, like looking back at dreams. The theory I buy into the most is, have you heard of I don't think this is the right name for it. Um, but it's like, it's the evolution of the dream is supposed to be like a way to train humans to simulate like a fight with a predator or like just a scary situation. That's like what nightmares are.
Hmm.
Is like your brain is simulating a situation where you're in a near death experience or something. So that way you like learn without actually being in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of preparing you.
Kind
So
of like lucid dreaming where you're or no.
no, lucid dreaming is when you like control the dream.
Oh, okay.
This is more like, this theory says that humanity evolved dreaming in order to survive, like as a survival. I wouldn't say instinct, but like a survival mechanism. You know, because it's like, okay, let's say I live in an area with a lot of tigers, right? In my sleep, I'm running from a tiger, and I do this and I do that, right? And that's like a simulation, right?
Yeah.
Because experience is the best way to learn.
Yeah. It like gives you like you're experiencing it before it ever happens. So you kind of know what to do or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's my favorite theory, but I've seen other ones where it's like recap of the day. Oh, I think we're getting kicked out.
I think we are getting kicked out.
We'll have to do a part 2 to this. Unfortunately, this morning I was a little slow. I lost a USB and we need a USB to record. So
A little late, but
yeah, we're getting kicked out now. So we're gonna have a part 2. This is part 1. I hope y'all have enjoyed listening, and I will see y'all on the next episode of DMac Pods.